just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this and totally redeem yourself.
I'm freaking out, man.
You are freaking out, man.
But our shenanigans are cheeky and fun.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah!
What's up and welcome into Right Comboed. This is episode 3, as always brought to you by Mom Mitchell's Meatloaf, made to order since 1988. I am Trav, everybody's favorite uncle, co-hosting and West Coasting tonight as usual, and I am joined by this group of 4 tasty little treats on screen here. We're going to start with the special delivery, of course, our resident expert package handler. That would be Brian Mitchell. What are you sipping on tonight, brother?
Oh, just a little Canadian Club and ginger.
Decent.
Good,
How's the day today? Delivering mail, handling
good
packages?
day today. A little chilly, but a pretty damn decent day. It was done around 1:30, nice and early. Yeah, it was a good day.
Unbelievably cold out here on Vancouver Island today.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievably. A little bit of snow flurries here at North Saanich, and snow in some of your guys' hoods as well. The superintendent, clean lines and green pines out on the golf course, Carl Johnson. What's going on, Carl? How you doing, brother?
Great. There is lots of snow on the ground over here, which means there's no pesky golfers on the golf course, which means a lot of office time and early days.
Yeah, and trying to stay warm where you can. I remember those days where you were out on the golf course and this kind of shit, Carl, and you weren't the happiest camper. So this is where superintendent life pays off, isn't it?
Oh, I got the office and I got the heater. It's all good.
Money. And of course, the ship's captain, fresh off a voyage himself, Keeg Squeeze. How are you this evening, my friend?
I'm pretty good, man. How about you? Have we asked how you're doing?
Well. I'm doing well, buddy. It's about you guys right now, but I'll take the floor here, I guess. Yeah, I'm doing good, man. Busy day. I worked at the office. I work from home usually. Worked at the office today, so it's usually a little bit late getting home, little hustle and bustle to get the kids on time. But I'm here with you guys, so I'm happy as a fucking clam, bud.
Nice.
Last and absolutely not least is the Philly Blunt himself, sipping on an old fashioned, as is customary for the Right Combo podcast. Eric Mitchell, what's cracking, G?
Doing pretty good, man. Lauren just went to the States for a little shopping trip until Sunday, so got my feet
Just
up.
get back from a trip?
Is that wedding stuff?
Yeah, she was up in Nanaimo visiting family.
Jesus, living lavish down there, walking around with his plums out and shit.
Oh yeah, bachelor life.
Spending money.
Spending all her money. Oh,
I
awesome.
caught him having a puck earlier.
Yeah. What? Whoopsies. Nobody was home.
I was changing, yeah.
Yeah. Why you all do my eyes for then, huh? Okay, boys. Yeah, so this is episode 3. Big shout out to anybody who stuck around and listened to our previous 2 episodes. We're getting into a bit of a groove. We didn't have an episode last week. Schedules are tough to line up, boys. I think we all knew that coming in, and so we're going to make it happen. But yeah, any of the people who are listening and sticking around for the episodes and engaging on the socials, we really, really appreciate that. Please go subscribe at youtube.com/@rightcomboed. You can find the link in the description of the episode as well. And then on the socials, Instagram is kind of the meat and potatoes, I think, of where our kind of recurring content will live, but episode drops will be on all of them. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can find us at Right Comboed. And yeah, we're trying to get a little more consistent on there, and we appreciate the engagement. Like I said, it's fun to get chatting with people, put some ideas out there, and love those likes and those comments, people. So thank you very much. Okay, boys, the housekeeping is out of the way. We got a little show lined up. It's going to be a bit of a fun one. We got some fun topics to talk about tonight. I'm going to start on a bit of a serious note, though, fellas, and I want to give a big shout out to an absolute dear friend of this entire group, and that would be our friend Cam. a lot of our listeners right now probably know Cam, but hopefully we've got some listeners maybe who are listening to us from elsewhere who don't know. This is a really, really good friend of ours, and he's doing a really cool little fundraising event thing. Well, he's a part of a fundraising event. He's doing a naked bungee jump for mental health, boys. First off, one here, Kyle, you've bungee jumped before. Would you bungee jump naked?
If I had to, wouldn't be my go-to thing. Yeah, I've done the Nanaimo Bridge where he's going to twice. Super fun, but if I don't need to take my pants off, it probably won't.
Yeah, for sure. And like, I think that's where the cause comes in that Cam's doing it for, right? Like the mental health and the anxiety and depression and people recovering and stuff. I'm going to read a little thing from there too, but I think it's pretty cool. Cam's been a good buddy for a long time, and he's had his own struggles, and he's being open about them and being vulnerable to them and coming out and doing something really fun. I've got my own anxieties and stuff, boys, that rear their ugly heads from time to time. And I think probably everybody has it to an extent. It just rears its head in different fashions, I think. And so,
I think being naked and bungee jumping would cause a lot of that.
But I think knowing Cam's not really shy, so he wouldn't be too worried about that, right?
Seen his bird a few times.
Never upside down falling though.
No.
That's true, yeah. The birds will definitely be flapping that day, boys. Yeah, the birds will be flapping. I mean chirping. Yeah, so big shout out to Cam. I'm gonna put the donate link in the description because we want to get as many donations as we can. I believe there's 11 days left as of this recording, boys, and we're recording on Wednesday, the 22nd of February. So 11 days left. Early March is when the donations will close. We want to get him up above $200. He's at about 180 right now. And boys, actually, I want to throw it out on the podcast that on behalf of the Right Combo podcast, I'm going to ensure that he reaches that $200 by the end of tonight. So we'll be putting a little donate in there for the Right Combo podcast.
Look at this guy.
We all love you, Cam. So I'm just going to do a little read from the excerpt of the campaign. It says, come out and jump naked for our 17th annual naked bungee jump for mental health. Take the leap from Wild Play's 150-foot bungee bridge to help mental health recovery partners. That's an agency, by the way. Mental Health Recovery Partners is the main agency that this is supporting. Help them provide life-saving mental health programs on Vancouver Island. Anyone raising over 200 in donations gets to plunge for free, and the event proceeds will be matched by an anonymous donor and donated to the Mental Health Recovery Partners. So super cool. Minimum age of 18 to be on site. I think I saw Cam post somewhere that that you can pay $25 for a ticket to go and watch. So if you want to see the birds flapping, they will be there. Yeah, just kind of a huge thing for Cam. Super cool. His fiance Dave encouraged him to do it. Shout out to Dave. We love you too. Please hit the episode description and consider making a donation for Cam. 11 days left, and we really want to try and get that number up there so we can donate for mental health. And like I said, everybody goes through it or knows somebody who goes through it. So it's something that's pretty important to us. And I think that's probably important to most people listening to this show. So it'd be great to see if you want to tag us on the socials and let us know you made a donation. We would love to see it. And I know Cam would love to see it too. So yeah, big shout out to Cameron, boys.
Yeah, proud of you about that. Awesome that you're doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it.
You're a brave man.
Yeah, totally. I am scared shitless of heights, boys. So I wouldn't even go up to the top to watch somebody else bungee jump, let alone bungee jump myself. So that's a hard no for me. So if I'm going to be showing my bird for charity, it's going to have to be in a bit of a different fashion. You know.
It's a good old
in this weather.
And we're getting into nefarious things here. So we'll keep it on the up and up with what Cam's got going on here.
Yeah. We'll do a charity to keep your pants on.
Yeah, please. Yeah, totally. Okay, Kyle. So let's get into some of this nitty gritty here. You got yourself an air fryer this week, buddy. How long have you had it? What have you made in it? Tell us your journey so far.
Well, so I stopped off at Papa Jones's place, and I guess they're huge air fry fanatics, and they found like this Ninja one too loud. So they got this like double canister, big badass one that's dead silent, and there's two of them. And yeah, so they weren't using this one, gave it to us. I think Eric's the one who's always been pretty hard on the air fryers, and I never took him too seriously or anything. So Dad's like, you're gonna say no, but you got to take it. So we took it. Jules was pumped. I was like, oh, great. Something else to sit on the counter.
Worth it.
Last night, made some wedge fries. Deadly. Like, good. And then, I don't know if this is up your guys' alley, but we made tofu in it tonight and marinated that shit for like 30 minutes and then threw her in there for like 15. Whew. It was the best. Like, awesome. Super easy to clean. I'm pretty pumped on the air fryer. I'm not gonna lie. I see what the hype's about. Highly recommended after 2 uses.
We do everybody knows it is just a tabletop convection oven, right?
100%. It just
why do you have to fucking ruin this for everybody, Kyle?
Well, it's just come on. I'm sorry. Kyle's a smart guy who knows, but I just love marketing all these fancy new age air fryers when it's something that's been around for a million years since ovens.
So the one thing I don't know if I love or don't like is just as soon as you put it in, like that air is blowing out of it and it's hot and you smell the food just like that. But so far it's been good smelling food, but I wonder if like I throw fish in there just right away.
Seafood gets a little stinky. You got to wash it right away after.
I knew it. There is a downside.
I've never done seafood though.
Not you.
Never done seafood. Yeah, that's good. One trick for your potatoes, Kyle, when you're making wedge fries and stuff like that, when you cut them up, if you got the time, soak them in some water for like an hour or so beforehand, dry them off on a tea towel, and then toss them in. Ooh, the crispiness that gets on those bad boys is so good.
What I do is I'll put them in a bowl of water and cover them, microwave them for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then dry them off, put your seasonings on, and then air fry them.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. What I do is I go into the kitchen and I turn on the oven because I forget the air fryer's in the pantry, and then I go about my business.
Keegan hates air fryers, boys.
No, man, I like air fryers. I just forget it.
How do you feel about convection ovens, Keegan?
Yeah, you like mini convection ovens.
I like my tabletop convection oven.
Yeah.
And I just forget that it's in the pantry all the time. I don't know.
Kyle, wait till you try chicken wings in that bad boy, man.
Yeah, my old man goes on about chicken wings and onion rings. That's what he's about. He's like, he's telling me, showing me the ones you got to get. So
leftovers.
We'll get there. But how many can you get in there? Like, do they all need to be separated, or
you're definitely looking for
20 in there, dude? You can get a lot in there. If it's the same size as the one I have, you can get about 20 in there.
Nice.
It's a little different with like chicken.
Just mix them around.
Yeah,
every 10 minutes,
you got to mix them. Yeah.
Sweet. No, I'm pretty pumped on it, and especially it was free. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Shout out Joneses. Yeah, they're always giving us good stuff.
I think they have a shout out on every show by now. This is awesome.
Oh, they earned it.
Well, yeah, there are our two followers right there.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Appreciate the view. Hey, Judy, I appreciate you switching to your alternate YouTube account just to get us that view. I love it.
Oh
yeah. Lastly, on that one that I made that was really, really good, boys, was some boneless chicken thighs. They cook pretty quick, like 15 minutes. And I coated them in crushed up Doritos and then tossed them in there for 15 minutes. So good. The kids loved them. But to your point, Kyle, with something like that, like chicken breasts or chicken thighs, it's a single layer or bust because you're not really mixing those things around or you're going to lose all your breading and stuff. So yeah, it's experiment though, right? That's the fun part about it. Just test some shit out, put it in there. I've done pierogies in there. Pretty fucking good.
So good.
Yeah, it's got a little stand on it too. So like you can have 2 layers. So that's kind of cool.
Deadly.
That's
like
pretty
fancy. Is that new age? Did I just blow your mind or what?
Yeah, that's new.
I didn't know there was a double-decker air fryer.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Is that an air fryer?
Just a little metal rack. Little metal rack that goes in it.
It's basically, never mind.
Kyle, you should make jerky.
What about Instant Pots, guys? Do you guys have Instant Pots, also known as a pressure cooker? Do you guys have
mine?
You know what? Get the negativity out of here, okay?
I know. Hey, Nelly, leave your attitude at the door, okay? Mine's the ninja version of that, Keeg. So it's called the Ninja Foodie. I can saute in it. I can air fry. I can pressure cook. Super cool. I was a little bit scared to use a pressure cooker at first because I was worried that some shit was gonna pop off. Never happened, thankfully.
Yeah.
The one shitty piece though is it's been through a couple moves, and for some reason, when the pressure cook lid is a different lid that you put on other than the air fry lid, and so when I put it on and click it in, it doesn't register that the pressure cook lid is clicked in, so I can't actually pressure cook on it. So I gotta email the company and see if they'll fix that shit. But
you can do like fall off the bone tender ribs in one of those things in like an hour tops.
That's the same as what I got, Carl. I think that's more for stuff that's going to leak juice, though, as opposed to having two different foods.
Well, if you put something underneath, it's now a double-decker air fryer.
You win. You win.
Oh, I see. Okay. We have that. That comes in like the Instant Pot, so you can put your meat up on that rack.
Mm-hmm.
On the
Rack it up,
juices on the bottom,
Yeah, man. Good stuff, boys. Well, Kyle, I'm excited to hear your air fryer journey. Please report back if you make anything fun. I'm super stoked about the tofu thing because, as you guys know, my wife is also a vegetarian. I don't like tofu very much, but if I have another option to make her something that she will think delicious, then I'm down for it. So thanks for that, buddy.
I'll send you the marinade.
Look at that. Fucking start a cookbook here.
Nice.
Right combo cookbook. That's an idea, boys. That's an idea.
Mine would just
start with 3 Luckies.
Yeah, I'm really good at craft dinner. Really
Mine
good
would
at
be
that.
like ghetto stolen versions of Gordon Ramsay's food. So, like,
yeah, no,
poor
craft
man
dinner and
Gordon
PB and J's.
Poor
That's what
man's
I got.
Gordon Ramsay.
Eric, what would be your signature dish if we had a right combo cookbook?
Ooh, signature dish.
We know your appy. We know your signature appy would be a charcuterie board. We've discussed this one.
Yeah, that's tough. I don't know. Ribs, maybe.
Ooh,
Yeah, I can rock a good plate of ribs with help with the pressure cooker or instant pot, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. What's the sides? What sides are you making with that?
Ooh, well, I just mastered homemade mac and cheese.
Ooh.
Did you? Like
Yeah,
make a roux and everything, adding in the cream and the cheese and all that.
Oh yeah, like from scratch.
Nice work.
And then they add like bacon or jalapenos or whatever.
Homemade is 1,000 times better than
It
anything.
is. It is.
Even better than the restaurant. Make it as cheesy
Man,
as you want.
I got too many recipes, man.
Yeah, you're pretty good. You're pretty good in the kitchen. I will give you that, bud.
Mainly, like I thrive with cooking meat.
Yeah.
You excel at the barbecue, bro. Like your barbecue game is on point.
It is. Yeah. He's my barbecue game is partially due to Eric's barbecue game because I watched him learn, and I'm really good on the grill these days. But yeah.
Lauren takes care of all of the usually the sides and stuff. Like she's really good at making like risotto or anything delicious. Honestly.
Yeah. Anytime that I've been there, she has absolutely knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
So
we're a good team in the kitchen.
What a combo you got.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I like it. Okay, boys. So totally switching gears on this one, but I came across a little something happened at work today, and I felt like we might need to discuss it on the show. I was in the office today. I work from home most times, but I was in the office today and had to go in and use the washroom, and just had to pee, use the urinal, was all good. But as you guys, I'm sure, have experienced before, there's a gentleman in the stall. Seemed to be unleashing an Armageddon dump of sorts in the toilet. Must have heard me come in, but did not give a fly-in because he just let fly. I personally try to avoid, especially when my stomach's not feeling very good, having poops in public settings. I can't say that I, haven't done it because I do it from time to time. You got to do what you got to do. But what's your take, boys? Anyone obviously we don't prefer to poop in public, but anyone not fazed by it at all or what?
I used to be one of those people that always waited. It could be 5 or more minutes and I'd be like, oh, come on, man, just get out of here. But I find as I'm getting older, I give less fucks.
Yeah.
And I find lately, if I'm in there, I'm just screw it. I'm letting it go. That's what that room is for. That's right. What everybody's in there to do. Why should I be embarrassed? It's a men's washroom.
But are you grunting and groaning?
Planet. That's
if it's like a Or if you're like painting the porcelain, are you waiting till you don't think there's anyone in there, or are you just gonna like send it
Right?
Full send, bud. It's fireworks. It's
Yeah.
There's no holds barred. Yeah.
Wow.
And actually, I like it when there's someone else in there and I'm doing it, because then it makes their day. Like, then they can go home and they can podcast about this. Oh, this dude was in the stall today, and I'm that guy. Like, it's totally fun.
You're basically famous at that point, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Like Geek said, yeah. As you get older, I just feel like it just does not even matter. Like, even if you know it's going to be like a messy one, like you just let her fly, and maybe you get a snicker, you get a laugh out of the person next to you or whatever. That's always nice.
I was laughing when I went in there today. I was definitely having a chuckle, right? I wasn't hating on the guy by any means.
You're like the
Banksy. Like I've been in your position, Trav, where like I've been at the urinal and then someone's been like on the shitter and just letting it fly, and I just burst out laughing. Like, I think that's just hilarious. Like, too funny.
You're almost convincing me to maybe try it out, because I've always been a hold back kind of guy. Like, oh, I'll try not to, make a ruckus. Even at home, I'll do that. I'm a gentleman of sorts, I'm an absolute gentleman. So, but like, if I went your route just to try to make people laugh, that could be something, and like maybe give me the courage to just not waste so much time trying to be all conspicuous and like, I poop pretty. Just let her go.
You can hurt yourself doing that.
I bet. So it's bad for my health and no one's laughing. It's a lose-lose.
Yeah, I'm kind of like a hybrid of both, boys. Like, I don't have a problem pooping in public. I still put toilet paper on the seat, though. I absolutely
do. You really? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Not into it. And like, if it's got to happen, it's got to happen. But if I know someone's in there, I'll probably try and wait until they're gone before I let her, rip. I'm definitely not trying to get it out pretty like Kyle is. It's either I'm holding it until no one's there and then I'm unleashing, or you know what I mean? Or I'm waiting, you know what I mean? So,
well, that could change too, because like doing that at work, in an office, in a bathroom on your floor, compared to like at the mall, those are still two totally different public washroom settings.
True. Yeah, mall dumps are a different game, boys. That's a different game.
They hit different.
It's gonna be if I worked in an office and there's like the one bathroom, I am probably definitely waiting.
Yeah.
At the mall, on the ferry, letting it
go.
Yeah. You worked on a ferry. That is your office.
Right. I still haven't done anything nasty as what I've seen on that fucking boat, though.
Yeah.
I can only imagine some of the horror stories you've seen in there.
You don't want to know, man. I got too many.
Oh, is there one that sticks out in particular? Is there one that just like has not left your brain?
There's plenty. There's a whole episode of this stuff.
Oh, Jesus.
Seriously. Like, we could probably do 2 episodes of just me telling 2 stories on a friggin' boat.
I can get Sabs in on it, and she'll probably have some that she can add too. It'll just be a you and Sabs episode.
We'll back it up.
Yeah.
It's never been as bad in the terminal, and she's been ticketing for a long time, but
true.
Yeah, and her short.
It's just full of a bunch of Brians.
Oh yeah,
the ferries are full.
Yeah,
just a bunch of D-gens.
Yeah. Oh man, that was yeah. It was just kind of like it was an experience today, and I've been on both sides of that coin. I've been in that guy's shoes. I've also been in the shoes that I was in today and listening to it. Brian, I love the idea of like out loud laughing just to kind of ease that tension. I wish I could that today. I'm going to try that next time,
like,
I'm going to go for a laugh.
Like, I'm going to be friends with that dude. Like, that's cool.
Absolutely, yeah. That's an accepting person for sure.
Does anyone have a female around them?
My lady in the room right now, she can probably hear me, but I don't know.
Do they have similar experiences, I wonder?
They must, right?
They must. Girls are gross, man.
I think there's probably some grosser shit that happens in the girls' bathroom.
How many times have either of you heard your significant other fart?
0.
So many.
Never.
Zero?
Never once.
No.
Are you guys serious?
I'm serious.
No,
In 2 years.
zero, man. Zero.
I can probably say
Okay, I'm totally calling my old lady out here.
I mean, I want it. It's just not happening.
Do you want like a
doing
number
that too, Haley?
Do you want a number like from today or the last hour?
Yeah.
Or where
Today,
where are we
Kyle,
at?
give me today's number.
Actually, it is 0 today.
Really? I'm
Hey,
in
babe.
single digits, but not 0 for sure.
it's probably I could probably count on 2 hands in 5 years how many times I've heard one.
Really, eh? Yeah, we just
Yeah,
are not
same.
shy about that.
She
here.
likes to be quite the lady, and she gives me such trouble for it that when I catch her, it's like I let her know that I got her. That's for sure.
They're always like an accident. Like, you know, like she sneezes or something, and it's like, ooh.
These guys don't know their
Ours are
girlfriends' heart. Or fiancés, wives.
Unreal. Kyle, I'm with you, bud. Kyle, I'm with you. You just gotta let her fly. Like, fuck it. That's just normal.
We're pretty open.
Yeah.
She's looking at me right now. I mean, we're not open. Nothing like that ever has happened.
Relationship is not open.
She is a princess and doesn't fart or poop or nothing.
Yeah, we know she's a perfect lady.
Yeah. I bet you guys.
Probably...
Never mind.
Go ahead, Kyle. Probably gonna hold that one back.
Yeah. How'd it go?
All I'm saying, boys, is I've probably been Dutch ovened more times this week than the 3 of you guys have heard your women fart total.
Amazing.
That's fucking love, okay?
Dude, that's true love right there. That is true love.
Have you ever shot with the door open?
Yeah.
No, I can never do that.
Dude, also, I have 4 kids.
Never.
You can try to shit with the door closed in my house, but you're not shitting with the door closed in my house.
Fair enough. You do have 4 miniature seals.
So I mean, we're not trying to leave the door open so people see us poop, but it happens for sure.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. That's coming for Brian and I in a few years. Well, Brian, did Maddie ever come and bust in on your business?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Leaving your bathroom door open and then mid poop?
Well, I would close it. She would just open it and just let herself in. Yeah.
So that's coming for me then. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah. Oh,
for
sure.
Not sacred time anymore. That is not sacred time anymore. No. Okay, boys. The poop talk is in the books for this episode, but we did our quota for today. So well done, fellas. Well done.
We'll do a whole episode of my stories another day.
Yeah, big shout out to Jules for her flatulence input, and shout out to my wife for hopefully not killing me after what I just talked about. Okay, boys. So this is a question, and I think we got it on one of the social medias, but I planned this episode out 2 weeks ago, so I totally can't remember who it came from. So I'm sorry to that person if they're listening, but we appreciate you sending this in. Or Keegs, this might have been the list of stuff that you gave us for topics in the group chat, because you gave us a long list, and that was dope too.
I was on fire that day. Things were just popping out of the brain,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
totally. It was magical. I enjoyed watching it, and I banked all of those topics that you gave us. So thank you. But we're going to talk about our careers today, fellas. Our careers today. So, the question is, did we think that we'd be doing this coming out of high school? So just for a little context for any listeners, Eric is an electrician. Kyle Johnson, as you know, is the superintendent of a golf course. Brian handles packages as a mailman, and Keegan, I don't know what your official title is. I just think of you as the captain.
Yeah,
he does boats and shit.
I'm a deckhand.
He's a deckhand.
Pretty simple.
You're still my captain, Keegan. So the question is, did we think that we'd be doing this coming out of high school? Eric, I'm just going to go with on the screen there. What did you think? Did you think that electrical would be your trade? Did you think trades would be what you would go in? Tell us
absolutely
about
not.
Math was.
Absolutely not. I sucked at math in high school. Electrical is a very math-heavy trade, but I hunkered down and learned it. What did I want to do? I always wanted to be like a fireman or a veterinarian at one point, but obviously just like funding and stuff that's pretty tough to get into. And being a fireman was a lot of work.
Yeah,
for sure.
Corey's beard.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah. Yeah, so I am now very happy where I'm at. I've done residential, commercial, industrial, and now I'm doing marine, doing maintenance for BC Ferries and the Navy, and I'm just loving it. Couldn't be happier.
Oh yeah,
I like it. It's nice when the path is not what you thought, but it works out, right? Carl Johnson, did you think that you'd be running golf courses and shit? Because I
didn't even start golfing until I was like early or mid 20s, I think.
Really?
With
I
Brock.
It was a little earlier than that. Okay.
No, not really. No, it was early 20s at the earliest. Like I was framing like in high school, like right when I got out, going to it's framing. Hated it. Saw all the other trades, just hated it. At that time, I started golfing with Brock, and I thought golf was lame. Then I realized it's just like a bunch of dummies drinking, having fun outside. Didn't have to pay for golf while we were out there. So my golf career is completely thanks to Brock Van Gilswick. Shout out, thank you, buddy. Hated what I did. I was like, what do I like? I like golf. So I took a dirty hidden pay and went to a golf course and got a job there, and was going to take over as a superintendent. Then they sold there after like 6 years or something, and then ended up at the fishing lodge with Brian and blacked out for a few years. and then
hard, you mean? Worked really hard.
I worked really hard. Yeah. Then I just shit just falls in my lap, man. I'm the luckiest son of a bitch around. I got this wicked position at an awesome golf course with a superintendent who was looking to retire, and I just bullshitted my way to the top, and here I am, not knowing what the hell's going on. But hey, they're paying me to be a superintendent, so sick. Got him fooled.
Fake it till you make it, buddy. Fake it till you make it.
Oh man, that is 100% true. You hear that often. Look at me. What's up?
Carl, do you still sticking around there for quite a while, bud?
I probably shouldn't answer that.
Yeah.
I don't know who watches this, but no, for sure.
Just undetermined, right? You don't know what the future holds.
No, definitely. It's a great gig, and I do really like my job, and it suits my lifestyle and everything. And Parksville's amazing. Like this part of the island is so perfect for everything that Jules and I like to do. So there's no way I'm moving anywhere else on the island other than like Central. If I end up moving, it'll be somewhere off the island, I'm sure, but no plans on doing that because Mid-Island's dope. It's perfect. It's not busy up here. There's no traffic, close to everything. It's great.
Yeah, amen to that.
Agreed.
Amen to that. Yeah, big shout out to Brock on that as well. I was kind of around from the start of your golf journey too, but I'll be okay with that, with the no shout out on that, Kyle. We golfed together pretty early, I think. Hello, I've been golfing for ages.
Yeah. Sorry, Trav. You're a big fan base of $5 golf when I was able to provide that, and then
it was money.
Yeah,
absolutely. And yeah, no, when you got into golf, I cannot tell you how excited I was about that. That was very, very fun. We had some very good golf trips. Absolutely. Hopefully more to come, Carl. Hopefully more to come.
Yes. Get those kids older and stop having kids.
Hey, father time. Time. Except don't father time, because that's also fucked. So please don't. I can wait for a golf trip for sure. Keegs, you've always been into like the nautical stuff. You like there was always potentially a path for some sort of military route for you as well. But how'd you land where you landed? Is this kind of what you thought you'd be doing? And how do you feel about it? All of that jazz.
In high school, I thought I was going to be Gordon Ramsay or something, you know, I don't know, one of those other famous chefs. That was like where my eyes were. And then you quickly realize how low paying and hardworking and shitty that industry is, and changed my mind pretty quick. But I don't know. I ended up at BC Ferries, and I thought I was going to have a summer job for 1 year, and 15 years later, I quit and took a job at another company. And but yeah, no, it's definitely not what I thought I was going to be doing, but it's a pretty good gig. I get paid to sit in a comfy chair and stare out a window at the ocean all day. And it's not been great this last couple months because it's been cold as fuck and snowy, and my boat had a lot of frozen pipes one shift. We had no showers or water or toilets for like half the week, and yeah, it wasn't a good time, but no, generally it's a good gig. I'm home more than I'm at work. Like,
Gotta love that.
Huge.
5 on and 8 off is pretty nice.
Yeah.
But being away for even that 5 days kind of sucks, and it's even worse. Like now that we have a baby, makes it a little more difficult even. But yeah, it's all right.
You're doing it, man. You're doing it. Yeah, it's for the fam.
It's
yeah,
gig,
it's
man.
a sweet gig,
It's
and
it's a retirement gig.
I think so. Yeah, I could have seen you doing this. Didn't you like always kind of want to be like on the Coast Guard or something too, Keeks?
I was interested in all that for a long time. It's all that stuff is definitely more interesting than what I do. My job's it's just back and forth, you know, with cargo every day. There's nothing super adventurous about it or anything, but you know, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, some beautiful fucking scenery.
And I still just kind of hang out and stare outside windows all day.
Love it.
Yeah.
And Brian, you probably thought you're going to be a fishing guide or something like that, but you're the mailman now.
Honestly, like I do remember being in high school. You know, when they make you think about, you know, what do you want to do when you get out of high school and what do you want to do for a living and all that. And I remember my train of thought was on managing a freshwater fishing resort of some sort, mainly trout fishing, right? So that didn't happen for me right after high school. I did a quick 5-year stint as a baker at Save On Foods. Oh, what a good time that was! Great first job. Met a lot of beauties there. I got to work with Jeff there. That was unreal. Like just so many good times.
Mark,
yeah, so many good times.
I worked there.
Me,
yeah, that's
Evan.
right. You guys both, yeah, you
Me.
guys were there for a bit too.
Evan, Paul, you were there too, weren't you? For one point.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah. So like a lot of good buddies. So that was great. But yeah, I do remember in high school thinking that for work, like a dream job would be managing a fishing resort. And thankfully, after working at Save On, not right away, I did work a few other jobs in between, just for short periods of time. But then I got our buddy Mark Godowski, who we don't really see too much anymore, but you guys all know who he is. He got me into some saltwater fishing work up in Haida Gwaii. So I spent 6 years working up there, which was unbelievable. Great footstep into the fishing industry. Just the greatest years of my life. So good. The best time. I was making wicked money. It was seasonal, so I got to spend half the year on EI doing whatever the hell I wanted, and that was glorious. That was great. And then 6 years of doing that. After that, I all-ate into working right at Stony Lake Lodge. Luckily enough to have Kyle work there up there with me too. That was just deadly. So yeah, working with one of your best buds up there, and Jules. That's where Kyle and Jules met. You know, a lot of good people went through there, and that was I was there for 6 years, and that was an even better 6 years of my life as opposed to Haida Gwaii, which I thought was the pinnacle of happiness working there. So unbelievable working there. What's that?
It was really 6 years. You're at Douglas Lake.
Yeah, but 6 years Haida Gwaii and then 6 years Douglas Lake. Yep.
Okay. I didn't realize it was
managing a few of those years and not managing some of them, but just being up there, literally the best job in the world, man. Like Trav, I think you're the only one that didn't make it up there at some point. But yeah, you four have all been up there. You know how fucking sweet it is up there, right?
Yeah.
Heaven on earth.
Yeah, and then
then had a child, so you know how that goes. And that place of work not being close to home and it being a seasonal gig as well, it's not very conducive to having a child. So got to thinking, and I'm like, okay, what the hell am I going to do now? And I being a postman has actually always been on the radar. Before I even got into the fishing industry, I made it to a final interview with Canada Post. That, like I said, that job was on the radar, and I always did want to do that as well. So I thought I'm going to give that a go. And so did a application, put the resume and all that, and I got hired on super quick, which is like not very usual for Canada Post. Usually hiring there is pretty tough to get in. But it was the right time. It was kind of right when COVID started and they were losing some people and whatever. So got in, and actually next month I'll be coming up on 3 years working with Canada Post, and I just absolutely love it. It's fucking great.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, that's such a sweet job, like rolling around, bumping tunes, dropping mail off. Yeah.
It really is, man. Yeah.
So your official title be postal delivery technician, or
they what do they call us? Delivery agent is what they say. I think that sounds ridiculous. No, I'm a fucking postman. I take things from point A to point B. It's an adult paper route. It's not. That's
awesome. That's awesome, dude.
But
I'm jealous, man. That's great.
All right, Trav.
It's a simple job. It's a good gig.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. All right, Trav.
Yeah,
Trav. Your story.
Yeah, like I have the least exciting job out of everybody here. I work for the provincial government, sitting at a desk job, working for the man. I absolutely love my job though. Love it. Like love the work that I do. My title is a senior change analyst. And so we take big projects where our ministry is making change on how things are done, like services or processes and stuff like that. And I'm in charge of making sure the staff are supported to be ready for it. So instead of just throwing them into a bunch of training, we'll make a bunch of resources for them to kind of read up on stuff. We'll do some info session stuff, just kind of like getting them prepared to undergo change. So it's taught me a lot of skills for life as well as for work, for sure. And I like this role within the provincial government isn't what I thought I was going to be doing, but honestly, boys, I definitely thought my path was the provincial government. Because and the reason being is the stability, right? Like I'm not like, I can't be a nomad like you guys, like going and just, going and working away for 6 to 8 months of the year or whatever it is. It's never like, I envy you guys for it because it sounds so fun, but it's just never been necessarily my bag. I'm more of like
not for everyone.
Kind of a homebody and stuff, and I'm sure I would have had a blast regardless. But yeah, just like the stability and stuff has always been something that I've kind of looked for. My mom and my grandma and my older sister all work for the government, and all I was basically raised on government wage, so I kind of saw the stability that it gave my mom, and the pay was you hear that your mom's making over $20 an hour when you're younger, and you're like, holy shit, like you rich. Why don't I have all the shit that I want? You make 20 something bucks an hour. So yeah, that's why I got in, and I started at 20 bucks an hour, 20 something an hour, but I'm definitely in the 8 years I've been in government, I've definitely gotten a fair bit higher than that, so I'm pretty thankful for that. But yeah, this is kind of what I thought I was doing, and I'm just happy that it's not something that's like monotonous and boring. I'm happy I get to use my skills, I get to be creative, I get to like be a part of something, you know what I mean? And I see like staff using stuff that I've created or whatever that helps them do their job better. Like I like that. So there is little bits of reward in there, even though it's like working for the man. It's a little bit more of a dynamic position. So I'm pretty lucky to have gotten into that position too. That's another story in itself. But yeah, the dominoes fall, guys. And all I can say is it pays to network and it pays to get to know people. You know what I mean? And just
totally.
Talk to people and see what they're all about, and they see what you're all about. And yeah, basically I got kind of plucked for this job, and it's the best thing that's happened career wise for me.
Right on, bud. Yeah, you own that job, Trav, for sure, man. It's you.
It's pretty dope,
even from day one, since you started working, like You started at McDonald's, I'm pretty sure, and then like right up the chain, Trav's right at the top. You know, you're an organized guy. You get shit done. You set up, like, you're super organized. Look at the podcast, right? I don't think many people know before this, like, episode 1 even went on. There is like bombarding us with, you know, different layouts, different ideas. This, like, you can't even blink before Travis has a list of this long, and that's after he's dealing with all his kids, his provincial government job that obviously has a shitload of responsibility. Like, mental brickwork for Travis Seal is child's play. He's been like that for ages.
Well, I think there's a couple.
He's known he's known how to count to 100 since we were like 3 years old, man. I swear to God.
I was gonna say
since my first year of kindergarten, motherfucker.
Me and Trav, like when we were young kids, like at the Cridge, we were in like preschool. This kid could count to 100 already. Like, I'm doing 1, 2, skip a few, and Trav's like, 97.
He was doing spreadsheets in grade 4. It was insane.
What's that?
Yeah, I was an Excel whiz. No, I think kind of twofold, boys, and like part of the reason, Kyle, to your point, where I've kind of like to move up the ladder a little bit and be in kind of like leadership type positions might be a control thing, to be honest with you. Like, maybe I kind of like control, and maybe I think like I have good ideas that I can contribute, and not that I haven't had
Hey, Trav,
life, you know what?
I know you've done this. What's your management style?
I haven't actually done the test. No, I haven't actually done the test. I'm not actually in a supervisory position right now. I'm just kind of like the lead of a part of projects, and so I like that because I don't have to do the supervisory stuff. So I don't know my management style. So I'm sorry, Kyle. I wish I would have had a great answer.
You're authoritative.
I'm pretty sure when I was, I was pretty authoritative, but I was also kind of like casual too, right? As long as people are doing their shit, I don't really care, right? And I think that's how you get people to do their shit, is to be a good person and a good human, and they're going to be more motivated to do that because they feel like they're in it with you. You know what I mean? As opposed to you.
But that's how you manipulate them. That's how you manipulate them so you can manage your style. Like it's
I guess it is a form of manipulation. And this is like an interesting point, Kyle, because I've thought about this before, and I feel like life is just a series of manipulations, and this is mega rabbit holes here. Everything we do in life is some form of manipulating our situation. It can be very tiny, it can be super small, but even like switching lanes to get to your destination faster is manipulating your situation, right? Me telling you guys that I want to start a podcast with you guys was manipulating you into hanging out with me. You know what I mean? Like, it's in everything is a form of manipulation, not in a negative context though. Not in it. We have to manipulate our lives in order to get to where we want to go. Yeah.
I feel like I manipulated my way to my position, period. I sit back and I'm like, man, have I just been like playing these people? Like,
not in a bad way.
And like here, well, I don't know. I feel kind of guilty. I'm not lying to him or anything, but it's like, sometimes there's situations where like, I know I can persuade someone into making a decision that favors me. And like, 100%. And I'll see it happen. And I'm like, is that how everyone else is doing things? You know, like everyone's got their agenda, I guess, but
that's how I live my life, Kyle. And it's not always like, guys, totally. We're
doing a podcast, aren't we?
It's not always a bad thing, or it's not like a negative thing though. You got to think about it that way, right? Because sure, it's to benefit you, right? Like you're manipulating a situation to benefit you. But if you're a good person, you're not going to manipulate that situation if it's going to harm or be something that is, you know, negatively impactful on a reasonable scale, right? Like if, you know, if it's obviously going to impact somebody else, but if it's not going to impact them to their detriment, you know what I mean? That's not being a bad person. You know, if you manipulate something and somebody else loses their job, okay, might be a little bit of sleazebagness under that. But I know you and I know all you guys, and we wouldn't do stuff like that. And that's the key to it, right? Is like, manipulation's not always necessarily in a bad context. It's just as humans, we want to get what we want. We want things to favor us, or maybe we think it's the right decision, that it doesn't have a positive impact on us, but we think this is the right path forward for somebody. Then I think manipulating those situations is absolutely the way that it should be, especially if you're somebody who's in the know and you know better than that person. And, you know, sometimes we can and can't say that, but sometimes we can absolutely say, I know this situation a little bit better based on my expertise, so this is what we need to do. Boom.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, manipulation. Good times.
Good chat though, Kyle, because that's fucking real. We all do
Yeah.
it. We all do it. And that's an interesting conversation. People, anybody listening, get into the comments and let us know what you think about that situation. Just the fact that like life is just a big series of manipulations on different scales. And I think that's a really interesting thought. So thanks for bringing that up, Kyle. That was kind of a fun little tangent. I like that we
Who
went
else
a
is
little bit
smoking
off
weed?
the show sheet. Not currently, but yeah, I've partaken. Okay, guys, that was really good conversation. Last thing I got two more little things to bring up. So this one here, have you guys heard about this Cocaine Bear movie that's coming out in theaters?
I only saw a quick little.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
Like,
it was on the Super Bowl,
episode or whatever.
on the commercial on the Super Bowl. That's the first I saw of it, and I've seen nothing since.
It's unbelievable. I looked into this, boys, and it is unbelievable. It's based off of loosely based off of true events, loosely. So the way that I read it is back in 1985, they found a dead bear, and this bear was full of cocaine, like full of it. Ate like I can't even remember. I wish I had it pulled up right now. I had it saved for before, but anyway, there's like hundreds of bricks of cocaine, and this bear eats like a large amount of them. They find this bear dead, and they said in its bloodstream was only like 3 to 4 grams of these huge bricks. So not even all of it got into the bear's bloodstream.
3 to 4
But
grams.
the movie is basically what they would envision that bear did when it was having hell of a time. And so I watched the trailer, boys, and it is outrageous. It looks outrageous.
We gotta do a viewing.
Yeah,
we gotta do a viewing.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I definitely think we should find some way to watch it together. I'm not gonna go and pay the money at the theaters to watch it. I'll be honest with you guys. But yeah, if we can find a way where we watch it and then report back to the pod. I don't think we could show any of it on the screen, Kyle, just because YouTube would probably pull that down. Because a watch party would be fucking hilarious.
That would be funny. We could do that.
But we can't do that, unfortunately. We could not show anything on the screen and just show us watching the movie. Might not be riveting to watch for people, but also maybe, I don't know.
I have a wildlife recovery center up the road. I can just go take a brick of cocaine up there, give it to a bear, and record it. We can have our own episode of it.
No CGI required, no nothing. It'll just be 100% raw footage.
Yeah, I'd walk right up to it and hang out for sure. Yeah.
Oh god.
So if anyone wants to lend us however much money it costs for a brick of cocaine, we need some sponsors.
20 G's.
Some sponsors.
Some cartel sponsors.
Can neither confirm nor deny any of what Kyle just said. That's fun. Yeah, I thought like it's incredible to me. Like back when we were kids, it's interesting because this is kind of backwards to society. But back in our day when we were kids, you would never see a movie entitled Cocaine Bear. Like they would never get away with that. But now they do, which is totally feels backwards to the sensitivity of 2023, which is a topic that we are absolutely not getting into. But yeah, it's weird. And even like the word shit on the radio, you would never have heard that when we were a kid. Now you're hearing the word shit on the radio. What's that?
WAP.
Yeah, but that was more recent, right? That wasn't around when we were kids. But yeah.
No, I know, but think about like
that is
like
racy.
We had dirty songs, but I mean that song is like pretty off the charts, man.
And it was huge. And there's like
our songs were dirty, but they were way more subtle. Like they're subtle.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that was
My Pony.
Close by next.
Yeah, like we just let them feel a little poke coming through. That's all.
That's right. That's right. But we don't have no macaroni in a pot in our songs.
Yeah. No buckets or mops either. Oh man. Oh boys. So actually, since we're talking about music, boys, I'm gonna debut a new segment that hopefully is a recurring weekly segment on the Right Combo podcast, and I'm gonna entitle this segment "Spittin' Rhymes and Splittin' Spines," boys. You guys gave me the go ahead to do it. This might be lame. Any of our listeners, if you think this is lame, let us know. If you don't think this is lame, also let us know. But it's like a kind of like a rhyme of the week type thing. I listen to a lot of hip hop music, boys. You know that we've all listened to a ton of hip hop music together. And I think it would be kind of fun to bring a rhyme of the week. And it's not just going to be a me thing. I can be prepared with one for every week, but if you boys want to throw one into the hopper, absolutely okay. Not, it's not going to be of a various theme or anything like that. It could be something that has some cool meaning, something that's really wordsmithed well, something that's hilarious, something that just sounds dope. Whatever it may be, something that sticks with you is something that I would like for us to bring here. And if any of our listeners have some rhymes that resonate with them, we'd love to hear that as well. Hopefully a comment section is bumping after this bad boy, boys, because I've had lots of call outs for the listeners to hit the comments today, and we appreciate that. So this week on Spittin' Rhymes and Splittin' Spines, this week's rhyme is from Lauryn Hill of the Fugees. And to set the stage for you guys a little bit, picture like an 8 or 9 year old Travis getting ready to go to school, sick mushroom cut, trying to impress the ladies, getting my dance moves tight, add glasses, so I could see things really good. And I got my music influence from my sister. Shout out to my sister. You guys all know her. Big Sis was always a big influence, and I used to always steal her music. So 8 or 9 year old Trav, going through my sister's CD catalog, checking out what I wanted to bump that morning. And lo and behold, I found the Fugees, and I believe it's a self-titled album. I believe it's just called The Fugees. The big song that people would remember off of it is called Fuji La. Great tune. We love that tune. But the one that I am bringing a rhyme from this week is called Zealots. And it's a rhyme by Lauryn Hill. And this is the rhyme that really made me fall in love with Lauryn Hill. And it's super awesome because it's more wordsmithy than anything, but it has crazy meaning. So she drops a bunch of sick bars beforehand, super intricate flow, saying a bunch of like deep stuff, right? And then to end off the verse, or I don't think it's actually to end the verse. She says, and even after all my logic and my theory, I add a motherfucker so these ignorant ends hear me. So basically what she's saying is she's dropping sick bars, like super sick raps. So anybody who's interested in the sick rap, sweet flow, intricate rhymes, she's got that. But for anybody who's not interested, so the ignorant blanks hear me, she adds a motherfucker on the end. So people who aren't that deep in thought about the rhymes and stuff can still vibe with her music because she just tosses a motherfucker on the end and sounds hard as fuck. So I'm going to put a link to that song in the description. And even after all my logic and my theory, I add a motherfucker so these ignorant ends hear me. Oh my God, Lauryn Hill. Thank you for that.
Pretty good, man. I like that.
So
and know what another
good, right?
part of that is? Another part of that is like the people who need the motherfucker in there, they're probably too stupid to realize that, you're kind of being insulted at the same time.
Exactly.
So they hear it and they're just like, there it is.
Yeah. She said motherfucker.
Yeah. The girl.
Yeah. So that's the first installment of Spittin' Rhymes and Splittin' Spines, fellas. Usually I get this inspiration when I'm driving home from dropping the kids off. I'm hammering tunes. It's like a 30-minute commute, and I'll just find some shit that I'm bumping. And so that's where I got that from. And please, fellas, I want you guys to bring some too, because I want to hear the shit that resonates with you, because what sits with me will not necessarily sit with all of our listeners. And I want this podcast to kind of show all the bases that we cover as human beings. I think we've got some pretty wide coverage as far as interests, music, hobbies, all that shit. And I really want our listeners to kind of see that, right? And get to know us and feel like they're a part of the crew and stuff. So hopefully stuff like this gives them a little bit of a glimpse into who we are. We talked about our careers today. I laid down some rhymes. We talked about our preferences as far as pooping in public, boys. Kyle, we talked
our
about
ladies.
This is the inception of Kyle's air fryer cookbook, was this very episode right here. So that was a fun episode, boys. Always fun to get together with you boys.
Always good to see you guys.
Yeah, man, this is fun. I'm excited to be doing this. Ernst, you loving it?
Buddy.
You having fun? Carl Johnson, how you feeling?
I got an empty house, living room to myself right now, so it's pretty great.
I gotta cut this podcast off so Kyle can go live it up. Keegs, you liking it? You loving the podcast journey or what?
Yeah, man, it's been pretty fun. It's just fun to get together with you guys and shoot the shit for a little while, say a bunch of stupid stuff for people to see on the internet, embarrass myself. Yeah, it's my
I
good
love
time.
it. Yeah, no, it's a new way to put yourself out there. Bri, are you liking it?
Absolutely, man. Yeah, it's great. Always good to see your mugs on the screen here, and yeah, it's nice. Nice to have a few listeners out there, and yeah, it's all good, man.
Boys, our episodes are doing fucking awesome. The first one is at like 150 views, which to listeners might not sound like a lot, but that is really fucking good. I used to do a fantasy football podcast, putting hours of research into episodes weekly, making sure I'm consistent every week. Social media, blah, 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 blah. 17 views on that fucking thing. And so our first episode did, the same views as probably like my last 8 fantasy football videos that I put like 4 years into, which is, it's kind of sad to hear, but that's not how I'm taking it. I love that this is doing great. And episode 2 is getting near 100 right now as well, boys. So I love to see it. And anybody who's listening, please share with your friends if you like to hear us talk about stupid shit, because we will continue. And thanks to you boys for putting yourself out there like this, guys, because this is totally a new realm for you guys, different way to put yourselves out there. We can be followed on the social media at Right Comboed on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And then please go to YouTube, subscribe, like, and leave a comment on the videos. That's the bread and butter, is going to be the YouTube channel, youtube.com/@RightComboed. Looks like Kyle's outside enjoying the snow right now. So he didn't even wait for the podcast to end to go live it up. What do you got going on there, Carl Johnson? Oh, he's frozen now. He's doing a snow angel. His phone's fucked.
Literally
Look at that.
It's crazy out here. There's man, like, look at.
Yeah, doesn't the weather know this is Vancouver Island? What's going on, man?
Yeah, there's like so much snow out here.
We don't live in Alberta.
It's crazy.
I love it.
Yeah, it's like Lady Smith.
Thank you to that. So for any of our audio listeners, Kyle is actually outside standing in the snow right now, and he's got a nice little sheet out there. So it's going to be a little bit of fun had in the snow. But yeah, like I said, thanks again for listening, guys. Thank you, boys, for showing up and hanging out. Until next week, absolutely love you all. Have a good
Love
night.
you, buddy.
Love you, Bob.
Hey, Ma! Can we get some meatloaf? Hey, Mom! The meatloaf! We want it now! House is a fucking prison! A planet of bullshit! A galaxy of this sucks camel dicks! Hey, guys! Oh, big gulps, huh? All right. Well, see you later.